Welcome to Here Comes the Boom, a KSR and KSR Plus recruiting podcast talking all things Kentucky basketball recruiting. Before we get into today's show, be sure to go and subscribe to KSR Plus. We've got a great deal going on, $1 for 7 days. Go take advantage of that. We're going to be talking about this year's Kentucky basketball team, some Kentucky football recruiting, and all the things going on with Kentucky's roster building for next season. And we're going to talk about some of that right here, starting with Nate Ament, the five-star forward. We've talked about him plenty of times on this show, one of the best players in the country. He has now scheduled his final official visit to Arkansas for this Saturday, March 8th, to see Arkansas take on Mississippi State. That will be, like I said, his final official visit. He's got a final five. You got Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Duke, and Louisville. He's visited all four of those schools, with the fifth coming to Arkansas this weekend. And then a commitment is expected on April 1st, right around the McDonald's All-American game. So everything's coming to a head right now. I like where Kentucky stands. I'm not ready to peg them as the favorite right now. I'm hearing a lot about Duke. I'm hearing a lot about Louisville. We'll see how things go with this Arkansas visit. But Kentucky's at least in a position where I believe they can get this done. Let's talk about his Fanstake, though, because like I've mentioned before, his whole representation has talked a lot about Fanstake and the role that it's going to play in his recruitment. Nate has said it himself that he's paying close attention to it. And right now, let's pull up his Fanstake. Looking at where things stand right now, you've got Louisville in the lead with $83,731 and Kentucky in second place at $46,965. But Kentucky fans, you've got an awesome chance to climb that leaderboard, to get to number one using a 10 times boost. You can stake him, and Fanstake's going to match 10 times your stake up to $100. So that will be very exciting as this recruitment comes down to the wire. I'm sure that more is going to come out after this Arkansas visit. We're going to start hearing about maybe someone taking the lead, but right now we're just waiting out, seeing how things go on his upcoming trip to Fayetteville. Now let's shift over to talking a little bit about the long-term future, talking about some 2027 names to know. I just want to put a couple guys' names on your radar, starting with the number one player in the class, Obinna Kizzy Jr. He is playing now at Prolific Prep, but he does have some Kentucky connections. He's originally from Nigeria, moved to the United States, specifically to Louisville, when he was in 8th grade. So he got his first taste in the United States was of Kentucky basketball, Louisville basketball, and now he's at Prolific Prep in Napa, California. Kentucky has offered. He's one of, I believe, 2 players in the 2027 class with a Kentucky offer. The other one we'll talk about in a minute, but he hasn't set any visits. He took some visits last year while part of a camp, but hasn't taken any official visits. That's not going to happen until down the road, but Mark Pope is already building a good relationship with his dad, a former basketball player at the University of Maryland. Right now, his dad is handling all of his recruitment, but if you go to KSR Plus, you can see everything that he said about Kentucky. He had some good things to say about Mark Pope and the staff. The other name that I'll bring up in 2027 is Baba Oladotun. He is the number 9 player in On3's recent rankings. He's the only other player, I believe, with a Kentucky offer in the 2027 class, a 6'8" small forward. I saw this guy play at Peach Jam over the summer, and he looked miles above the rest of the competition for his age. He was playing, I believe, 15U, so he'll be slowly progressing up the ranks on the EYBL circuit. He's a name to watch out for. A few other names. Jalen Mitchell does not have a Kentucky offer. He's a 6'7" small forward out of Indiana, but he is the first player in the 2027 class, I believe, to take a visit to Kentucky. He visited last year. So he's been on campus. I know that Alvin Brooks is leading the way there, so keep an eye out for him. And the last name I'll mention is Ryan Hampton, brother of RJ Hampton, now playing at Dynamic Prep. Ryan's from Texas, so he has that Alvin Brooks connection. Alvin Brooks has actually been in contact with the family for years now because he was one of the guys that was recruiting Ryan's brother RJ. It's still super early, like with all these guys, but SMU is a school that's been pursuing heavily. You got LSU involved, so you're going to have a lot of schools involved for Ryan Hampton, but Kentucky has made some early contact, so he is the name to watch. Like I said, you're going to be seeing a lot more names come up in the 2027 class. We still have months until June 15th when schools can reach out officially, reaching out directly to players in the 2027 class. So that's when we'll get a better idea of Kentucky's top targets. But 2 offers out in the 2027 class. Keep an eye out for that. Let's talk some final thoughts. My final thought today is Nate Ament. All eyes are on Nate Ament in this 2025 class. He's really the highest ranked uncommitted player left in the 2025 class. He's Kentucky's main prospect, still on the board. On3 has him ranked number 3 in the class. So he is really the prized recruit in this class, still left on the board. A decision is coming early next month, and I like where Kentucky stands right now. Be sure to go and subscribe to KSR Plus. Go and subscribe to the KSR YouTube channel. We're going to have tons of content coming your way. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon.